What's up, guys? It's a high value box here. You can tell I'm high value because that's what I call myself many times. Why am I high value? Well, I'm 6'2". I mean like a real 6'2", not like one of those online 6'2s where you meet them in person and they're not. Why do people do that? I got gains. You have to flex the bicep at the top there. Don't just flap around like this. And I know that because I watched the Arnold Schwarzenegger video.
It's as satisfying to me as coming is, you know, as having sex with a woman and coming.
Wait, fuck, not that one.
And come up and flex it. Don't ever go into just this.
So yeah, pretty high value, you know. Just in case you didn't get it the first time. Mike Davis with $100. Damn, that lib woman in your show last night was such a skank wasp whore. Keep up the good work, bro. Yeah, well, yes, she was. Facts. Okay, listen the fuck up, men. What's wrong with you? You're lonely, you got no gains, no bitches, your Coinbase wallet is flat because you didn't invest in the crypto box stock holdings. You're looking for guidance. You look to your left and there's all these fucking soy boys. Whoa. Wait, not that one. Yeah, all these fucking soy boys, and they're out here like, actually, I think you'll find that you're complicit in the patriarchal, white supremacist, capitalist, Protestant colonial structures, and you should really read that book by Bell Hooks that's all about changing it. Fuck that shit. Facts. You do not have time for all this blame society bullshit, okay? Do you know who you should be blaming? Do you know whose fault it really is that you're unhappy? It's women. Fucking women. I mean, look what they're doing. Did you know that the average Amazon delivery driver fucks 4 married women a day on his shift? When the husbands are out working? Facts. Did you know that 60% of drone pilots are women? Facts. Did you know that in France, 45% of men are women? Facts. So what we need to do? I'll tell you what we're gonna do. We are gonna get a bunch of dumb bitches into the studio, and I'm gonna scream at them for 2 hours. You're gonna watch, and you're gonna spend $100 in super chats so you can call those dumb bitches a bunch of dumb bitches. Because that is the behavior of well-adjusted, high-value men. Facts.
Brings like uses Eddie. Look at
This is what men do.
It's men stuff, dude.
Men stuff.
You know, like, once you're 18, if you want to get yourself a real man, I know a guy.
You do?
I do, yeah. I do know a guy. I do, yeah. I do know a guy.
So, what is all this red pill manosphere stuff about? Well, when I got depressed, I went to therapy, so I don't care, but I know a lot of people do, so we should see what's going on with them. Part 1, Fresh and Fit. Fresh and Fit is the ultimate red pill podcast. According to their Twitch bio, they help men with navigating women, fitness, and finances. You know, like they did in this episode where their guest openly brags about being a grapist.
We used to run trains on white girls.
Choo-choo.
Just go to Robin Hood. We used to do it without permission. So it's not like she came over and said, hey, I want to sleep with all you guys.
Yeah.
We said, hey, man, that white girl like you. Get over here. And then we put...
shit.
Yeah. We just come in with dicks out.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Yeah,
We might have to go off Twitch. Yeah. Okay, Twitch.
I verbally abuse women. You got and I'm mentally abusive, and I do some psychological abuse. It all wants what the bitch do. I'm a man that strongly believe that some women need their ass whooping, they pussy too. So I'll advocate too for some people.
Ooh. The format of the show is basically them taking on a bunch of definitely representative women, so Myron, the show's main host, can humiliate them in debates about how women are shit and they deserve less. That's not a straw man, he literally wrote a book called Women Deserve Less. The sad thing is, Myron is supposed to be the brains of Fresh and Fit. He's definitely one of the more rhetorically effective red pillars, but that's more of a sign of just how low the bar is. For someone who built an entire career off of pushing this single-issue worldview, he still somehow manages to look as if he's just blurting out whatever he can get away with. For example, here he is explaining why women are attracted to wealth, but not the other way around.
Listen, men don't have the same innate need for resources and security that women do. And the reason for that is because a man can go out and bite a lion or a tiger, hunt it down, kill it, and eat it. A woman can't, and she especially can't when she has a child. A woman by herself cannot gather enough calories to feed herself and her child.
I'm sorry, Myron. What animals did you say male hunters were fighting with?
A man can go out and bite a lion or a tiger, hunt it down, kill it, and eat it.
Would you care to go into the wild and demonstrate that for us, Myron? What f***ing Mel Gibson films have you been watching? Hunter-gatherers mostly killed herbivores, you f***ing idiot. You know, humans were actually not that strong as animals. That's why we had to make weapons and be strategic. And while it is true that hunting was a predominantly male thing in more recent societies, this hasn't always been the case. There was a study from 2020 which looked at burial sites across the Americas and found that around 10,000 years ago, anything from 30 to 50% of big game hunters were women. So, no, Myron. When women in 2023 are looking for a partner, there is no innate part of her brain wondering whether this man can fight a tiger and kill it so she can get more calories. Seriously, if you don't believe me, you are more than welcome to try. Try taking on a lion in single combat and see if that boosts your sexual market value. Because apparently, you might need it. Because recently it emerged that Myron has been looking for women on sugar sites, which he claims he's simply been using as a dating site.
You approached me on a sugar daddy website and asked me to be your sugar baby and then couldn't afford my allowance.
Never did.
He couldn't afford my $10,000 allowance a month and said, haha, that's funny. Why don't you just come on my podcast instead? So he pays $40 a month.
Are you done making your point now? Because let's really talk about this then.
Sure.
Yeah. You wanted $10,000 a month and I said no. Because I'm not going to pay you.
I don't want $10,000 a month.
Yeah,
I make well over $10,000
But I'm saying I'm not paying no girl any money. Like, I don't do that. Yeah. So thank you for cementing.
You've never bought pussy before?
Nope.
I wish we could.
Have
you ever bought a flight? Have you ever got an Uber?
Stop interrupting.
Sorry.
So thank you for cementing the fact that I don't pay girls off sugar sites.
Facts.
Thank you.
Then why are you on there?
And then also,
why are you on there?
Because I use it as a dating site and I've said it many times.
Really? Am I going to believe this is some kind of four-dimensional dating strategy no one else has discovered yet? Or is it more likely that he's lying? This is the website they're talking about, by the way. It's called Seeking.com, formerly known as Seeking Arrangement, where women can literally put up the monthly allowance they're looking for from their partner.
Basically, the allowance you're seeking, I have moderate, which is $3,000 to $5,000
a month. And you heard right, an allowance to date her. Bella, that's not her real name, is paid by suitors who list their sizable income and net worth, so-called sugar daddies, meaning sugar babies, on the website seekingarrangement.com.
In 2013, over 40% of their users were college students, and the requests in their profiles would often include assistance with tuition fees and allowances for living expenses. But yes, Myron, I'm sure there are plenty of women who are going on sugar sites because they want to find a man who doesn't want to pay. That's definitely why they're not just going on dating sites. Definitely a thing that happens. Anyway, part 2, Fresh. The other half of the show is a guy called Fresh who claims to have a body count of over 1,000. And if you think he's bullshitting, well, don't worry. He has the perfect response to those charges.
Inside of this video, you were saying something like how you got 1,000 bodies and shit. And I'm like, bruh, you is not fucking like that, my nigga. Like, why is you tapping to the camera, bruh?
So, here's my thing, right? Why would I lie to you?
Yeah.
What do I gain from doing that?
Now, most people tend to dismiss this guy as a kind of spare part who doesn't really contribute anything, but I disagree. Fresh is more what I would call an accidental comic genius. For example, here he is being asked how many college women are being flown around the world to wealthy men.
I just want to hear, for the record, for you three to answer this, what percentage of college women do you think are being flown around the world to I want to hear from all three of you.
If I had to argue,
I want to hear.
Off of like probability-wise, if I had to argue, maybe like 30, 40, 50.
I mean, do I even need to do the citation needed bit? Could this guy be any more detached from reality? Yes, he could.
And I'm telling you, these girls are out here f***ing. If your girl went to college, there's a high likelihood that she had some fun in those college dorms. All right?
Bro, a semester is 25 to 50 minimum nowadays.
Holy. 25 to 50. A semester. Minimum. Mate, you're hosting a fucking dating show. You're helping men navigate women. And you sound like a fucking virgin. You know, for people who seem to really not care much for women, these guys are obsessed with women. It's like they see them as some kind of alien entity that needs to be managed and manipulated.
I was watching a clip like 2 days ago. This girl's dressed all provocatively and shit. She's with her man. And then the guy asked her, so if your guy told you, you know, he didn't appreciate you dressing up like that, what would you say? This bitch has the gall to say, right with him, right there, I do what I want. Guys, you must assert dominance with your girl. Never physically, but with the ability to walk away. When you're able to walk away, girls are gonna get in play and understand that you will fucking leave their dumb asses and leave them to the streets, because I'm telling y'all, they need to experience that cold sometimes to realize how warm you are. That's the reality.
You know, I'm starting to wonder if this advice might be kind of shit. Unless the point of Fresh and Fit isn't actually to help men with any of this, because this is not what you watch if you want to build positive relationships with women. This is what you watch if you hate women and want to hate them more. Nothing about spending your Saturday evening watching this guy bulldoze a room full of women with this droopy cunt nodding away in the background. None of this is preparing you for the world of dating. No woman has ever sat down across from a guy on a date and been like, wow, finally, a guy who listens to good advice. You know, I've spent so long on this sugar site looking for a guy who doesn't want to pay for anything and who thinks the average college girl is boning 100 dudes a year. You know, if he's able to provide my daily requirement of lion meat, I think we might have a keeper. One of their frequent guests is a guy called Rollo Tomassi, the so-called godfather of the red pill and contemporary dating expert who has been married for over 20 years. But that's not a big deal. Maybe he just prefers theory over practice, so let's have a look. Wait, what the f*** is this? Sexual market value? Rollo, why are you valuing 15-year-old girls higher than any woman over 30? Rollo, where the fuck is your wife, Rollo?
The point of it was to get douche nozzles like yourself to have this conversation in the first place.
How old are you, bro? Douche nozzles?
Yes. You guys are idiots.
Fucking douche nozzles. 15 years old, Rollo. Part 3. Just Pearly Things.
What up, guys? Welcome to the Just Pearly Things YouTube channel. Today, I am going to be giving a special whiteboard presentation called Ladies, You Are Not As Special As You Think. Wait, actually, a better name for this would be Ladies, You're Not As Important As You Think. Yeah.
Okay, so where do we begin with this one? Here's my theory. At some point in the last year, Just Pearly Things attended the Red Pill Roundtable and said, hey, see how you guys hate women? Wouldn't it be great if we had someone who says all the same things you guys do, but is also a woman? Genius! Just Pearly Things is a Red Pill podcaster whose IQ should be measured on a pH scale. Seriously. Best case scenario, the only thing you'll find in between those ears is a very small cup of Mr. Muscle Drain Foamer. She is a prolific user of YouTube Shorts where she copy-pastes her talking points from the likes of Andrew Tate or Fresh and Fit. but as a woman.
All these women are born with value. They're pretty already. As a man, if you don't make yourself valuable, you have no value.
A woman is born with her value. 21 years old, hasn't accomplished anything in life, can still go on a boat with multimillionaires and be involved in, luxury parties, meeting celebrities, whatever. A man, he can't get that kind of access until he builds himself up to become a somebody where he's invited to these situations.
Because men have to create their value, where women are born with value.
Big facts.
So you're born, you're given the golden ticket at 18.
Pearl is an especially big fan of the core red pill idea that women are hypergamous, where men can only date people equal to or below their status, whilst women look to date men who are above their status. Of course, the research for this isn't as strong as she'd like it to be, so instead she goes the fresh and fit way and appeals to historical examples.
Most women want to date a guy that makes more money. Most women want to date a guy taller than them. Most women want to date a guy smarter than them. If you deny that, you're just denying reality. If you want to wonder if Chads are sleeping with all the women, just look at an NBA team and ask yourself how many guys they sleep with. The guys on those teams, rappers, entertainers, sleep with in a month. Probably more than most men will sleep with in their lifetime. You can also look at Genghis Khan. Man had a lot of kids.
Pearl, if you had to guess, why do you think Genghis Khan was able to get so many women? Do you think it was really because they all found his social status attractive? Is there not any other reason a woman might have ended up in bed with Genghis Khan? Pearl, I mean, how did she even come up with these takes? Oh yeah.
The one trend that has not changed the beginning of time is women have always been attracted to men that have resources, money, and status. That is why Genghis Khan owns all of Asia, and people walk around and there's a percentage of a bunch of Asians that have his DNA in them.
I'm related
This
to
is
him.
why people, okay. This is why, right, women have always shared one high value guy.
It's quite clear that Pearl just found out there was a fortune to be made in confirming the biases of angry men against women as a woman. Her bias against women is so strong that she even once parroted this take.
Also, I'd like to point out to a study that was done. There is a guy that put that he was he put a model picture and put that he was a sex offender. Like he's essayed a 15-year-old or something. Girls didn't care. They didn't give a shit. They literally kept messaging.
Now, that study she's referring to is not a study at all. It was a Reddit post. A Reddit post by a guy called Ripped, Rich, and Incel, who made a fake Tinder profile, otherwise known as chatfishing, of a young aspiring model called Ray, who was also a self-confessed sex offender. The poster then claimed, did I put enough emphasis on that word there? Claimed, to have gotten a bunch of DMs from women, many of whom were supposedly joking about his crimes and offering to hook up with him anyway. Now, I did say he claimed this happened, only there is no indication that any of these messages are definitely referring to these paragraphs. They could be photoshopped, the user could have written a different profile and then changed it afterwards, the messages could be taken from somewhere else, hence the vagueness of the crime jokes. The only evidence the poster gave of this being authentic was one GIF of him using the profile and getting matches. Now, as a Tinder user, first of all, how many people are reading the bios while they're swiping? But also, if you want to look at someone's bio, you have to look at the second photo, and even then, you'd only see this part of the bio before the line breaks, which in this case is just the guy claiming to be a model. If you wanted to read the full bio, you'd have to press that small arrow button on the bottom right, which I'm gonna say not too many people are doing when they're just swiping. In other words, this GIF proves nothing other than that a woman probably saw a good-looking guy on Tinder and swiped right without reading the bio. This is not a study, Ripped, Rich, and Incel is not a researcher, and Pearl is a f***ing moron. Part 4, the TradCon response. Okay, who else do we have here?
What happens when the manhood is removed from a male? It turns weak, docile, and submissive. It's easier to control. What's interesting now and what's very, very fucking sad, but also inspiring and hope-inducing, is that my generation of men are castrating themselves. My generation of men are willingly, essentially chopping their dick and balls off with very, very frequent, how do you say that word? Frequent masturbation.
Whoa. Okay, who is this man? This intense, glaring warrior in the adorable blue Snuggie who literally calls his community a cult and even gives a little kiss to the camera at the end of his videos?
My generation of men are weak. Click on this video right now to learn more about my cults. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Mwah.
Well, you know, I'm a heterosexual, but okay, so this is a guy called Hamza. For him, there are two broad male archetypes, the Jeffrey and the Adonis. And these two are kind of the base references for most of his videos. Jeffrey is, of course, the beta, lazy, docile, complacent, and Adonis is the alpha, the man Hamza says you should aspire to be. Confident, disciplined, doesn't masturbate too often, I guess. You know what? Maybe we should just watch an example.
Jeffrey thinks he's a nice guy, but why aren't girls interested in him? He's so nice to them, he manipulatively compliments them all the time. Jeffrey is a nice guy. He's not nice, but he's a nice guy. That's a term used for weak men like Jeffrey who think that being nice to a girl will get him into her pants. Tough luck, Jeffrey, it takes more than that. Adonis. Adonis is a nice guy, but not with those quotes. He is a man who is nice, who is kind, who is generous. Don't be an asshole, but also don't be a nice guy. This is where Adonis is at. Now, he isn't a nice guy. He isn't like one of those guys who slyly tries to be like nice to try and attract a girl. He isn't overly nice, but he is a kind, loving, warm man. Now, at the same time, of course, Adonis is not an asshole, but he has some traits of disagreeableness. If he disagrees with a girl, he'll say it. He won't just agree with everything that she says, and we need to adopt this.
Okay, so there's something in there. There is a kind of reverse misogyny where men will just turn themselves into complete doormats for women, often whilst still resenting them for not giving up sex in return. And obviously the big problem here is entitlement. If you remember Elliot Rodger, he would constantly remind himself that he was a polite, kind gentleman. The ultimate gentleman who in a decent world would be ideal. But of course, in the real world, girls don't flock to gentlemen, they flock to the alpha male. And of course, he never explains why we should think he's a gentleman, but you know. So there is something here. Be nice, but don't be a suck-up. Be confident, but don't be an asshole. The Jeffrey and Adonis thing isn't quite how I'd put it, but by Red Pill standards, this is at least coherent advice. Finally. But this person is not red-pilled. In fact, here is his opinion on the red pill. Red pill YouTubers are traumatized. Ooh, traumatized.
Jeffrey's been reading the red pill for a while now. It's time. It's time. Jeffrey makes his own red pill YouTube channel.
4 things confident men do that most men don't. 3 things alpha males never tell women.
Yeah.
F these hoes. Never put a woman on the pedestal. Okay, now time to spend 2 hours watching videos about women.
Red pill YouTubers are feminine. They are loud and arrogant. Does loud and arrogant seem more of a trait that Jeffrey would have or Adonis? Obviously Jeffrey. Their entire thing is about being obsessed with women, but they'll make you feel like shit for putting women and relationships on the pedestal. That's exactly what you're doing. You've got 1,000 videos of
three invisible signs that girls will show you if you're an alpha male.
Shut the fuck up, bro. What the fuck?
Okay, so what the f is happening here? This is a bit of a twist. Jeffrey is not a liberal soy cuck leftist. He's a red pillar. So what's happening here? Well, Hamza is what we might call a TradCon. A traditional conservative who stresses the idea of self-improvement and success, but also of modesty and restraint, usually on some kind of Muslim or Christian foundation. And it turns out that TradCons hate red pillars. Lauren Southern hates them, Brittany Venti hates them, even Sneeko is growing a bit skeptical.
I don't even know what the red pill idea of a high value man is. Is it just being rich? Like, what's the point of having all this money and not having a family? Why be that rich? The guy who's always grinding. Whoa, Brandon Carter doesn't have to do his laundry. Sick. What else are you going to do with your life?
But it does make sense that this would happen, because if you really believe in traditional masculinity, these guys are everything you would stand against. They're opulent in a very nouveau riche crypto shitcoin kind of way. They're promiscuous, on the man side anyway. They are the last people on earth you would want at the head of a family and raising kids. If everyone did go the red pill way, then families would just collapse. And if you're a TradCon, well, that's the end of Western civilization as we know it. And watching these guys go after the red pill in some kind of manosphere civil war it's something else. I mean, look at Hamza in this video. He talks openly about how he's been going to therapy, which, again, for the manosphere is like, what? And he even goes on to apply his lessons about trauma to red pill YouTubers.
So over the past few months, I've been getting therapy and I've been learning a lot about trauma, specifically childhood trauma, childhood abuse. It's so clear to me that these guys have suffered something like that. Listen to them speak and tell me that we're listening to some mentally healthy guys right now.
Damn. Psychoanalyzed by the guy in the Snuggie. Oof.
In this online circle, it's not about getting better, it's about getting bitter.
Hey, that's good, isn't it? It's not about getting better, it's about getting bitter. Okay, so as much as I want to like this guy, love this guy, join this guy's cult and wear this Snuggie all the time, you might have noticed there are a few problems.
Red pill YouTubers are feminine. They are loud and arrogant. Does loud and arrogant seem more of a trait that Jeffrey would have or Adonis? Obviously Jeffrey.
So he doesn't really explain why he thinks being loud and arrogant are feminine traits. It's the fact that he calls them feminine but then ascribes them to Jeffrey, who I assume is a man. I don't know why he couldn't have looked at Fresh and Fit, who are not feminine at all, by the way, and just accused them of toxic masculinity, but I mean, I know why he would have lost half his audience if he said that. And I mean, I don't really care that much for masculinity myself. I never have. I do understand that a lot of people do, and I am all for the idea of pushing positive masculinity, but I'm not sure if this is necessarily that.
I want you to see life as a man as a competitive race. At the finish line of this race are the women that we want to f and we want to impregnate. You complete the race with like a good time, a good position in the race. And there she is, she's yours, you've won the race, she's attracted to you. You fall in love, this is your woman. You're years older than you are now, you build up a family. All because you finished the race at the right time in the right position. If you take a break from that race, if you stop for 2 hours to watch that movie, to play those video games, to eat those to take those drugs, eat the junk food, to f around, the race continues. The guy who was behind you races ahead. And now that woman who was supposed to be yours, who was supposed to be your wife, who was supposed to have your children, is attracted to him. And he f***s her and he impregnates her. No one will speak to you like this.
Okay, so I don't think discipline is a bad thing. There is absolutely such a thing as being too complacent in a relationship. It seems to be the case that men are more likely to stay in a bad relationship, so it does make sense to be gender specific with the advice, but I mean, this is a bit f***ing mental, isn't it? I think if you approached a relationship like this, well, unless your partner is looking for a workaholic millionaire, then this would just drive you insane. If the thing driving you is really the thought of your wife piping another guy, well, you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself. You're doing things out of fear rather than fulfillment. You're seeing every other man in your life as a potential threat, and at that point, are you a husband or a hostage? I don't even know exactly what he's talking about here. It sounds like he's talking about success in a kind of Sigma grind set kind of way, but remember, Hamza is not like the other Adonises. He's going to throw us a curveball instead.
You level up life holistically in all areas. This isn't some like cringe alpha male, Sigma male grind set where I just say, yeah, make money and fuck bitches. The most important thing that you can level up is your mental health. The most. As soon as you prioritize your mental health, as soon as you make some good progress, it takes 2 weeks to improve your mental health. Don't listen to all these fucking, like, even if you've been living with that shit for years. It takes 2 weeks of doing the right things, but everyone has this arrogant attitude that they're different. 2 weeks of spending time in nature, hugging your family and telling them that you love them, telling your family that you're grateful for them, journaling about things. 2 weeks of meditation, daily exercise, sunlight, good sleep, water, good nutrition. 2 weeks, and more than half of all your negative symptoms of life, more than half of your negative thoughts that ruin your day will be eliminated.
It's funny, watching this guy almost makes my brain feel dizzy. It's like I'm sitting there going, yeah, that's good advice, yeah, okay, yeah, okay, oh, no, oh, what? It's like that the whole video. So, just in case anyone needs to hear it, if you're trying to work on your mental health, 2 weeks is maybe the time it takes before you start feeling the positive effects of sleeping regularly, eating at the same time every day, going for walks, going to the gym, but please, don't feel bad about yourself if your mental health isn't sorted out after 2 weeks. That's fucking bullshit. Ask your therapist about that advice, Hamza. And it's worrying because imagine the poor dude watching this video. He's got his girlfriend, a decent job, his girlfriend has some guy friends, but it's all chill. And then at some point, for whatever reason, he hits a wall. Maybe he's burned out. Maybe his girlfriend notices and then he's like, shit, remember what Hamza said? This is a race and if I stop running, well, the other guys aren't going to stop for me. Okay, maybe I'll call my GP and oh, look, there's a 2-year waiting list to see a therapist and oh, the other guys still haven't stopped running, Adonis. You've stopped and they're still running. Okay, so you go private. Sure, it's quite expensive, but oh, they're still running. And then after 2 weeks, 2 therapy sessions, as a man who maybe hasn't spoken about his feelings earnestly since he was 11 years old, turn on YouTube and there's this guy in a Snuggie staring you in the face and saying, 2 weeks. It only takes 2 weeks to sort your mental health. What the are you doing, Adonis? This is a race, Jadonis. You're falling behind, Jadonisy, Jeffronisy, Jeffroni, Jeffrey. You're a fucking Jeffrey. You snooze, you lose, Jeffrey. Where the is your wife, Jeffrey? She's underneath my fucking desk as I'm filming this fucking video, Jeffrey. It's strange that he threw that bit in about meditation because when I was doing mindful meditation, one of the things they constantly told you was don't criticize yourself, be kind to yourself, don't beat yourself up if you don't get it right away, go at your own pace. So Hamza, I guess we're all a work in progress. I think if people like Hamza have noticed one thing, it's that the red pill is the last place you should go if you want to improve yourself. As long as they keep advertising themselves as some kind of guiding light through the world of dating and finance, it's only a matter of time before their viewers realize that they aren't getting what they asked for. That no amount of time watching Myron scream at a room full of women with lip fillers is going to help their career or help them find a partner. The TradCons are a bit less insane, but at this point, the bar is really floating around somewhere near the remains of that Titanic submarine. Rest in peace. I feel like when I watch Hamza, there does seem to be at least a bit of humanity there. Like this bit where he talks about how the Adonis is someone who appreciates his mother's cooking.
Jeffrey doesn't eat his mother's cooking. He'd rather snack on gamer food like pizza and chips with chocolate milk and Doritos. And he wonders why he's so tired all the time, why he struggles to focus, why his dick stops working. Adonis remains grateful for the bountiful feast that his mother cooks.
I mean, it's not much, but it's more than can be said for these guys. Of course, like I said, the bar is extremely low. I've only seen about 10 of Hamza's videos and there's still quite a lot of mad shit in there.
I know this is weird, but I'm actually going to teach you how to grow a bigger peepee. And this is actually total legit advice.
Yeah, let's just say I won't be joining the cult. Definitely not when I can just watch these guys and let them fight.
Give me a kiss, you red pill YouTubers, before they start like, oh, our response to Hamza. Like, mwah.